Hello, welcome back to the Unravel Collective. My name is Yvonne, and this is your June Q&A with the Arcturians and me. And I asked y'all to submit your questions for June's Q&A, personal or for the collective. And what I'm going to do today is just look through my emails here, and I have not read any of them. I have not opened them. I like it better that way. I don't like to know what the questions are. I don't like to have any preference around what I am channeling or what to channel, if you get, you understand. So I'm just going to be looking at names basically, and whatever pulls me in is who I will be selecting. So before we get started with that, I would like to mention that by the time this airs, our fundraiser for the Frequency Center nonprofit that I run with my partner Ramona it'll be too late to buy a ticket to the fundraiser on Sunday, but if you would like to contribute or donate, you can help us by going to the silent auction app that I will leave a link to in the description of this video. And a lot of the services are here in Nashville, so if you live in Nashville, you would be able to, go to the service here in Nashville, but there are also many items that are done on Zoom or online, like a past life regression or an Akashic Records reading with me. There's some other things too. So you are welcome to bid through the app in that way, even if you don't live here, and help contribute and donate to the Frequency Center in that way, and also share your frequency with us. All right, so let's get started with your June Q&A. Let's see. So I'm just going to take a look at this email list, and the first one that pops out is Melinda. So I'm going to click on that. Let's see. And the question is from Melinda: I would love some advice from the Arcturians on my current living situation. Do they see this current living situation, home, wrapping up in 6 months' time, and how can I best appreciate and receive from where I am now without getting wrapped up in my roommate's personal journeys? Thanks, Yvonne. Hope you're doing really well. Okay, so let me go ahead. What I forgot to do before I started recording is my meditation that centers me, and also where I call the Arcturians in. So I am going to meet you back here after I've done that, so that I can tap in and be a clear channel for myself and for you. And then we'll start with Melinda's question. Okay. Hello, my dear. The first thing we would like to mention to you, my dear one, is that you are growing by leaps and bounds, and how it may not appear that way to you externally just yet, and that there are rewards that have not come to you just yet, and that there is a type of let's say frustration or impatience with how life is playing out for you at this moment. We would like to say that we place our hands on your heart, my dear one, to soothe you, like a child would be soothed by a parent in the midst of worry or concern. And what we are seeing here is that you, my dear one, have a light within you that is meant to be shared with others. And we see your strength in the words that you share. Now, we have mentioned this to you before. We have said this many times, that your gift lies in the frequency of how you write, the frequency in which you share your writing. It's very powerful. And we know that this may not seem as if it is getting you anywhere. But we ask you to have patience and to continue digging inward. where you find the purity and innocence of yourself, where patience is what is required here, where the waters are so deep, and yet as you look up, you see the sparkling sun glistening above you. This is what you reach for, my dear one, because with you, you have the capacity to tread in the deep waters, where it is quite dark, perhaps, but where there is life. So look around you for the life, which we think you already do, that is within this circumstance, in this moment, while at the same time having the capacity to look above you at the glistening sun, at the surface of the water. And then from here, my dear one, we encourage you to find balance. Find balance within these sensations, these energetics of living within this space that offers you growth, that is deep, 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 and being able to express it in a way that causes you the sensation of that beautiful lightness up toward the top of the water, floating and glistening and being held by the sun and the current. So you see here, my dear one, that the digger you deep, the lighter you float. And the more that you express yourself, all of you, you will find that more and more opens to you. And that those who are meant to be around you in your world, collaborating with you, drawing you even further into your truth, into the purpose of your existence, so to speak, they will be magnetized to you. You will be magnetized to them. And it is from here that all of you, both of you, will blossom into where you are meant to be. Now that does not mean that you are not meant to be where you are currently. This is not true. You are exactly where you are meant to be. You are on a journey of expression, of knowing, and of loving oneself. And as you continue on in this journey, you are providing the opportunity of the same growth for others. You do not know the power of the ripple effect you have on others. So stay patient, my dear one. And when it comes to the roommates, let's see what we have to offer here. Again, everyone is on their beautiful journeys in life. And what we see is that you again provide a sense of water within this environment. A calming, soothing sensation of water. The energy of water. The energy of information being held. But you don't have to do anything with this information, my dear one. All you have to do is create a space or a container for it to be processed and altered and integrated and evolve in its own fashion, in its own form, in its own desire, in its own energy, in its own way. You simply hold space for it to evolve, permission for it to evolve, all the journeys that are occurring around you. You are not responsible for any of them, and yet you do offer the container of this water-like energy, this space for things to float in and out, to come in waves and to wave out. We hope this makes sense to you, my dear one. We acknowledge the work you are doing. It is hard and courageous and so heart-led, so heart-filled, so beautiful and magnificent. You shine everywhere you go, my dear one. You offer this to the world. So thank you very much for everything you are doing for yourself and for the planet. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so that was Melinda. Thank you for your question, Melinda. All right, I'm going to go back to the emails. The next one that kind of stands out is Carrie. Hello, Yvonne. Thank you so much for your work and for giving me this opportunity. Animals. Okay, I love animals. All right. Do animals' souls also have spirit guides or group souls that help them plan their spiritual evolution in incarnations? Can you help clarify my personal soul? Uh-oh, here comes Reggie the dog. If we start hearing barking, it's Reggie. All right. Can you help clarify my personal soul origins, connections, and how they relate to this life and my service to animals? Okay, so there's a lot of questions, sort of a lot, but let's start with, hi Reggie. Let's start with, do animal souls also have spirit guides? Well, yes, they do. Yes, they do. And in fact, many times, what you might find is that many of you are their spirit guides, which is an interesting twist here, right? You offer each other guidance. And many of you are soul partners or have agreements with your soul bond. You're part of a soul family, so to speak, which is why many of your pets or animals that you are connected to will come to you over and over and over within your lifetimes. But here what we're seeing with this question is that oftentimes they really enjoy being with you, partnered with you, and they will show up in a variety of ways. One lifetime may be a horse, one may be a frog that simply comes across your path in a moment, or maybe a bird that comes around, often around your house, this type of thing. And of course, there are cats and dogs that come to live with you and be with you for several years. But what's interesting is that what we're seeing here is this idea of sharing with you that you are their spirit guides as well. So in soul level, when you are both perhaps on the earth plane, not knowing that you are soul family, perhaps you do know this, many of you actually do know this, but what we're seeing is that in the dimensions where you are existing as soul partners, you are still offering each other guidance here while you live your earth lives as well. And believe it or not, you have other realities, so to speak, that you are currently living in as well. There are so many fractals of your existence occurring at the same time. And so you are also giving guidance to those pets or yourself as well in other lifetimes or existences, other dimensions and realms occurring in this present moment. So yes, this is an interesting fact that we would like to share with you at this time. This is what wants to come through to be shared with you at this time. And we ask for the second question, the second part of this question. Okay. Can you help clarify my personal soul origins, connections, and how they relate to this life and my service to animals? Yes, hello. So, what we're seeing right away is this love for animals. So yes, you, my dear, have what we see an origin of being one that is masterful with animals. Yes, you have strong telepathic ability to communicate with animals. And so what we're seeing here is this ability to heal. not just animals, but offer healing through animals. Because what you do, my dear one, in many ways is channel the power that animals have or have to offer. And so we also see that there is a connection here in which you would like to help fulfill the life of the animal here on the earth plane, where they have come to be partnered with an earth being, yes, most likely their soul bonded partner. And in many ways or cases, they have been asked to be with them through an illness or through a condition of sorts. And this is something that you are very good at, let's say, connecting others with their soul animal, or offering a telepathic communication in order to find healing. Perhaps you would be very good at being a psychic once an animal has passed, or the living animal is still here and owner would love to know or communicate with said partner, animal soul partner. These are abilities that you hold within you. Now, this is a gift that you have acquired over many, many lifetimes, again, being one that is so connected to animals and their precious, precious souls, their beautiful, innocent souls that are here to partner with us, to help us grow, to give us comfort, to offer us healing at a frequency in which we normally cannot recognize, but you do. So this is all that is coming through in this moment that we would like to share with you. So thank you so very much for your question, my dear one. Okay, thank you. I don't know if you can hear that water from upstairs. I think someone's taking a shower or a bath. Okay, thank you for that question, Carrie. Let's see, the next question that stands out is Michelle. Okay, let me read this. This is a long email, so let me just read. The question is, am I doing enough to expand on that? I am homeschooling my 14-year-old son, being both mother and father, teacher and friend. I create art for friends or those that ask. I'm going to just read over some of this. I just turned 60. I'm healthy and happy. I ask myself, should I get a job and use my money as a deposit on a house? This thought creates fear in me. I do not want to work in a regular job every day to pay a mortgage until I die. The thought of it exhausts me. Yeah. I'm attracted to travel, and we've taken small trips with joy. I do hold hope to settle into a home with a big garden one day, and I love creating art, so I wonder. Any guidance from the wise, compassionate Arcturians would be appreciated. Okay, Michelle. So, I know up here your question was, am I doing enough? I'm homeschooling my 14-year-old son, being both mother and father, teacher and friend. And then a question around, should I get a job and use my money as a deposit on a house? There's an inheritance here that she's talking about. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to ask the question, should I get a job? And see where we go from there. Okay? All right. Okay. Hello. All right. So, Michelle's question is, should I get a job? Hello, my dear one. What a beautiful life it is that you lead. And what we're seeing right now, right away, is this image of greenery, trees, grass, open skies, horizons, beautiful, beautiful skylines, sunsets, sunrises, gardens, roses, flowers blooming, birds. We're seeing it all here, this outdoor utopia, so to speak. Very calm, very beautiful, very soothing, very inspiring. This is the type of life that really lights you up, my dear one. This is something that is also being fed to your son, this idea of being, well, that's where it ends. Being, yes? Being with the present moment, being with the beauty around you, being without expectation, being without forcing, being without the idea of I am a failure if I am not conforming to the conditions that society has taught us all to do and be. Yes? Now, what we're seeing is that this is a wonderful, wonderful lesson you are teaching your son. And that your son has come here to forward that message. And that there will be a great contribution to the planet made by your son. And in large part because of what you are teaching him. So here we have this agreement in which you would come together to offer the planet an evolution, yes? And no one's part in this is small, dear. So you may say, am I doing enough? I am homeschooling, I'm a mother. I'm living off an inheritance. And what we would say to that, my dear one, is that yes, you are doing enough. Not only that, you are doing an extraordinary job at what you are providing, not just for your son, but for the planet. Because as we mentioned before, you are bringing forth an evolution that your son will, in many ways, bring forth in new innovations, so to speak, new conditions to live within on this planet in ways that do not conform to the idea of I have to get a job, I have to make money, I have to work until I die, as you mentioned. In order to have the things I want, I just have to put my head down and do what I have to do. No. There is a change coming on the earth plane. And that change will be because of you. Because of people like you. Those of you who have come here to spread the frequency of a new way of being, of gratitude, of grace, of pleasure, of joy, of blessings, of what we have around us. The birds, the sun, the grass, the wind, the songs that the birds sing. To hear this, to hear it with your spirit, to have it alter you, to have it open you, to have it be an expression of life within you, because we are all connected. So, we are not here to tell you yes or no, get a job. This is up to you. But we do see that you are already doing exactly what you are meant to do, and you are doing it well, extraordinarily well. And you are not just helping your son, you're helping the planet. So take comfort in knowing that. And also, if you choose to get a job, do something that fills your child's heart, the child within. Because no matter what you do, my dear one, if you are doing it from the heart, you will be altering the planet and the frequency, and you will be doing your agreement, that your purpose that you agreed to do here on the earth plane. It will be met regardless of what you are doing, whether that's a job or you stay at home. You are providing and contributing to the frequency of the planet regardless. But we would encourage you to have fun and do something that causes you to be happy, if that is something you choose to do. So this is what we have to share with you. Thank you very much for your question. Thank you. All right, thanks, Michelle. Okay. My computer turned off. All right, so sorry about that. Okay. Let's see here. I don't know how to say this name. Elke, Elk, or Elke, Elka, I'm not sure. Dear Yvonne, thank you for the opportunity to pose a question. I have a mentally very disturbed neighbor living right above my apartment. She screams and shouts a lot at us neighbors as she believes we are manipulating stuff in her apartment, like hacking into the washing machine, for example. She screams like a demon, obviously really channeling very negative entities. Even calling the police and fines don't stop her. As she owns the apartment, it's difficult to get her out. I pray for her, but of course I get inwardly mad at her too. Excuse me. I fear I needed to move, sell the apartment, as things haven't changed the last years. Even if she isn't acting out outwardly, I sense these psychic attacks. I cannot prevent myself from tuning into this negative energy she radiates. I needed to merge with my higher self, which means for me going higher, expanding, but she senses this and attacks. She attacks the light as she is wrapped in darkness. Is there any chance? If yes, how to solve this very uncomfortable situation? What needs to be done? All right. This is an interesting question. Okay, so let me just tap in and see what happens. Hello, my dear one. Yes, this is indeed a very uncomfortable situation for all of you involved in this circle, in this world, so to speak, experiencing this. This is indeed what we see, a person who is lost, whose own soul has been hijacked, from what we can see. Someone who cannot be responsible for their actions because they are not necessarily within their human vessel here. It is being hijacked, not just by one entity, but by many that come and go. This is something that, of course, causes great strife and discomfort for this individual. And what we can see is that there seems to be not much support for this individual, that they have exhausted their resources. They have exhausted their support system, and so left to their own here, it's very difficult to be responsible or to behave responsibly because they are no longer present within their human vessel. What we're seeing is that this is an environment of almost like a playground for these entities to just kind of swoop in, do whatever they want, have fun being in the earthly body, doing and behaving in ways that are causing others discomfort as well around them. So let's see here. We do see that it would benefit you to move from this space. This is an energy that is invasive, so to speak. It is causing a dark energy field in the environment of this apartment complex, and it is quite what we're seeing is an image of like what is this called, quicksand. It's very heavy. It's draining. It brings anyone within this field down. And while we could say that you could maintain a frequency of higher vibration here, it is very, 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 what we would say, well, again, the image of quicksand, it makes it harder, my dear one, for you to maintain the energy of a higher vibration around this force field, so to speak. We're also seeing that on this particular geographic location, the land here, there are many spirits that are still lost as well, that are sort of again taking over the energy of this particular individual, that find it a playground to be in, but not only within the individual, they try, as you say, to attack others in this space. So they are here simply living in a dimension in which they are suffering themselves, and the only way that they seem to find pleasure is an escape from this suffering is by entering the souls of others, or not their soul necessarily. Their soul is simply, you could explain it as being switched off for a moment, because they come, as we said, the word hijack comes, is what is occurring here. The human vessel is a shell, so to speak, that they get to just come in for a moment, have some fun, escape the suffering, so to speak, that they live in within the dimension that they exist. And so here we're seeing that there was many spirits, for whatever reason, being drawn to this area, this specific location. So what we see, my dear one, is that if you were to have the possibility, if this is available to you, to move from this location, it would greatly benefit you. You would be much lighter. You would be within a field in which you would not have to work so hard to keep yourself out of the quicksand of this force field, so to speak. And you would not have these attacks so frequently placed upon you, or trying to get you as well. So yes, our advice to you, my dear one, would be to, yes, leave this apartment. If this is available to you, to do this as soon as possible in order for you to get on with your life, my dear, because you have lots to offer. And what we're seeing is that this is in many ways causing you almost as if it's like when you are in a dream and you cannot move, you are paralyzed, or you are trying to vocalize and it won't come out. It's like this sensation of quicksand. Again, this is what we keep seeing. So it is making it much harder for you to advance yourself in the way that you would like to here on the earth plane, and in the fullest potential of what you have available to you. So yes, this is our advice to you. We hope this has been helpful. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you for that question. So interesting. Okay, we have one more. And I have a question from Kimberly that's sticking out. Thank you so much for your time. I would like to ask the following. How do we work through the fear of showing up? The fear of doing something you know is your purpose in the world, but don't know how to take the first step. Yeah, that's really common, huh? I think we can all relate to that one. I'm continually being called to speak out, and I just have this fear of coming across like a weirdo, or like, who even cares what I have to say? I'm nobody important. How do we break through that and just do it anyway? I can relate. Okay, so let's see what the Arcturians have to say here. How do we work through the fear of showing up? Hello, my dear one. What a beautiful question, because as Yvonne just mentioned, yes, all of us, I don't care who you are, you have all experienced this sensation, the fear of showing up. Yes? Because right away when you enter this earth plane, you experience the heaviness and the density of what it is like to live here. Again, as we mentioned before in the previous question, this idea or sensation of quicksand, only not so harsh here, not so exaggerated, but feeling like maple syrup a bit. Yes, it's so much denser here on the earth plane. And so immediately we are met with this challenge of getting through this in order to be ourselves, in order to shine through, in order to fulfill on our potential, in order to fulfill on our purpose. We have to sort of get through the muck, get through the maple syrup here. Keep pushing through. Yes? This is part of the journey. This is part of it. So this is something that you knew would be a challenge, so to speak. The earth plane is simply denser. So you knew coming into this experience that there would be this type of challenge for you. And this is the opportunity that you have here to truly get to know yourself in the way of each single time you make it through, you take a new step forward, you learn more about yourself, you open yourself up, you chip away all of the heaviness or the density around you that is causing you to be veiled from yourself or causing you to have this sort of hidden identity, so to speak, from your own self. Each time you step into a new experience where you say, I am scared and I'm going to do this. I am scared and I'm going to show myself. I'm scared and I'm going to still speak up. Because we would like to remind you, my dear one, that every time you walk into a room, you change the environment instantly. You change what is possible. You change what is possible simply by being present. So you walk into a room and what was possible before has now been altered because now you're there. You may have something to say. You may have something to contribute. You may have something to share. You may have some way of helping. You may have some way of seeing a new perspective. You may have a way of bringing joy, of bringing calm, of bringing anger even into the experience, of bringing truth, of bringing vulnerability, of bringing authenticity, of bringing, well, it could be anything now. Yes, whatever it is that was not available to the moment until you got there. And that is what makes everyone so special. That is what causes an experience or the potential for what is available in any moment to be fulfilled in a higher level of awareness, of love, of compassion, of presence. Is to be aware that when you are standing there in that moment, you have something to offer. And in that moment, anything is possible. It can shift in a variety of ways. And so there are several different timelines that are possible because of every single person in that room or there available with presence and awareness. Now, if you are there with unconscious behavior, this is another timeline that falls out in a way that causes more emptiness, perhaps. And I think we all know that when we are not showing up, we are left unfulfilled. I should have said that. I should have done this. Why didn't I say that? Why didn't I speak up? Why didn't I share that? Because you are aware of the unfulfilled potential. You are aware of the timeline that is possible. Some of us are not that consciously aware, and we leave emptiness everywhere we go. Yes, we leave others feeling empty, others feeling lost, others feeling confused. But when we are conscious and we are behaving and we are present with our behavior, we offer the opportunity for, as we mentioned before, love, compassion, presence, awareness, conscious evolution to take place. This is how powerful it is to show up, even if you are scared. So this is what we would like to share with you in this moment. Thank you so much for this question. All right, thank you. Thank you, Kimberly. I really liked that question, and I really liked the answer. Thank you so much for everyone who submitted your questions, or thank you to everyone who submitted your questions. Thank you for being here, listening. I hope that you stuck it out through everyone's questions, because we can always learn from everyone's questions. And I thank you, and I will see you next Saturday. Don't forget that if you would like to donate to the Frequency Center or partake in the silent auction and offer your frequency and donation in that way, we would be ever so grateful. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you next Saturday. Bye.